Alright, let's confront Sentius. This is all optional. Where is he? Upstairs.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am.
Yep.
We have? I must have entrusted you with figuring out who the culprit is. Only, I assume we failed. And you had to start over. Is that about right? If so...
Yep. I broke it. I've had this conversation too. Couldn't stop it from being broken. I've broken it. Couldn't stop it from being broken. I have actually broken it a few times.
Look, it's unfortunate, but all now.
Okay. I know what you did to Scintilla.
Me? What are you talking about?
You're keeping her tied up in the cistern.
You know, you remind me of him.
Who?
Al Worth. The fellow who came through the portal before you.
Oh. What? You Okay. What?
Come now. Surely you didn't think you were the only one here who remembered everything. You see, my connection to the portal somehow preserves my memories from one loop to the next. Whether that was Proserpina's intention or a happy accident, I'll never know. But I'm surprised you hadn't noticed. Here I was thinking you were a little bit sharper than Al was. Or perhaps you're just more willing to break the rules. He was a moralistic fellow, never once compromised on his principles. And because of that fatal flaw, he relived this day many thousands of times before we finally had this conversation. I watched him come through the portal each time, always a little older, a little more disheveled, a little more haunted. And when he finally saw the futility of it all, as you're about to, it broke him. He drank a jug of wine, tied a noose around his neck, and took his own life, just before he was shot with a golden arrow. The next time I awoke, you showed up, but you've caught up to where he was so quickly. I mean, you've lived through the day, what, 8 times? Most impressive. And yet everything you've done has been in vain, because there's no escape. Except the path that Al took, the path he wrote about on his tablet. What was it? Ah, yes. Best to take your own life now. So, you discovered my secret. So what? What are you going to do about it?
You knew there was a way out and even locked up your own daughter to keep it a secret? Why?
Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I have grown attached to all this. My title, my beautiful villa, the sun on my face, the music of birds chirping. And as long as this day keeps repeating itself, I get to enjoy it all, over and over again, for eternity. Don't you see? I have found a way to prolong my life indefinitely, to cheat death. I have become, in effect, as immortal as the gods. Can you honestly say you would not wish the same for yourself?
Hand over the key to the exit.
And why would I agree to that?
It's the right thing to do. If you don't hand it over, you might have an uprising on your hands, stopping me from taking it by force.
The only way you're getting this key is over my dead body. And if I die, I won't be able to open the portal for you again, meaning you'll have created a paradox. You see, it was my actions that brought you to this point in time. So if you kill me, you'll stop me from doing so, and you being here will be an impossibility. That means if I die, you'll be flung back to your original time, having caused the deaths of everyone here, and you'll never be able to undo it. Is that what you want?
Okay, so that's the paradox. Basically, save ourselves, but destroy everybody else. It's just the right thing to do.
Oh, you and your pathetic morality. Nobody cares about your opinions or what happens, where you're from. Least of all, me. Understand that to me, you've never been anything more than a useful idiot, and you're no longer useful.
You could have an uprising on your hands.
You might want to think that through. If anyone so much as touches me, everyone dies.
This isn't over.
I certainly hope not. In fact, I want it to go on and on forever until you wither and die like Al did, and the gods send yet another useful idiot to extend my life for me.
I'll find a way to break the cycle, and you with it.
What are you going to do? Beg the gods for help? They don't care about you, and neither do I. Now, get out of my villa. I'm bored with you.
Wow. Well, I figured out who's most likely to break the golden rule. It's me. Goal completed. Okay. So, I can either kill him, unless there's another way to produce a paradox, or I can ask the gods for help. I think we're basically down to just those two options. And I'm not actually going to end this episode now. I'm going to finish this. Well, we've got several gods to ask for help, so...
Are they?
Keep an eye out for Santilla, would
Still
you?
saying Ave to me. Oh. Well, hello. What's this? That's it? What's the point of this? Not quite sure why I would want to come up here. Okay. Well, that's that. Boy. There we go. Be very careful about getting off of that. Yeah, since we can turn things into gold, let's just have a look around to see if there's anything else we can... Any other places we can get that we haven't been to? What's this? Oh. Hello? Oh. Okay. This is the bottom of the cistern. We came through here when it was all grayed out and stuff. Yeah, there's that stuff. Don't really need that. and somebody crushed to death there. Are you? You're solid. Okay. Okay. I'm absolutely shocked I didn't find this earlier. That was weird. Why are we in like da 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 da?
Isn't the great temple majestic?
What's with that music? Okay. Well, I think I'm gonna go and ask. So I have to decide. Let's actually save. I have to decide which god I want help from, basically.
That's quite an impressive bow you have there.
Yeah.
Just like Diana's.
Okay. I don't know. I'll take a look. I don't have a lot of time to do it. Oh, wait a minute. Can I... What happens if I talk to people now? What do you? I haven't talked to you very much.
A word.
Shalom, friend.
What's your story?
You mean where am I from and all that? Judea, originally. But when I was a child, I moved to Rome with my family, Romanized my name, and spent most of my life in the Jewish district of Trans-Tiberim, across the Tiber from the main city. That's where I was when the fires broke out. Everyone was running toward the river, and I, listening to my inner contrarian, ran the other way. Every road leading out of Rome was in chaos, full of people with all their belongings in carts and brigands preying on them. Several hours down the Appian Way, I saw another Jewish family being attacked by 3 opportunists. So I picked up a branch from the side of the road and went to defend them. I can only assume they got the better of me, because the next thing I knew, I was waking up in a forest, by a river not far from here, with no memory of how I got there. It's strange though, because I still had my purse on me. Why would a robber knock me unconscious and throw me in a river, but not take my coins?
Good on you for risking your life to help others.
A lot of good it did me. And that family. I sometimes wonder what happened to them.
Do you know of a way out of here?
I don't. But even if I did, I'm not going anywhere. I have unfinished business.
Can I can't even tell him that Scintilla is still alive, can I? What do you think of the golden rule?
Well, neither of us have a couple of hours to stand around talking about theology, law, and collective punishment, so I guess you're looking for a pithy summary? You remind me of an old story from my people about Hillel the Elder. He was approached by a Gentile and asked to explain the entire Torah while he stood on one foot. Obliging, he replied, "What is hateful to you, do not do to another. That is the whole Torah. The rest is commentary. Go and learn." Of course, what I want to know is, what kind of a god sees a young woman abducted and does nothing about it? Not my god. That's for sure.
Okay, yeah, that's a good question.
Thanks. I just wish there was a way to find out.
Who are you gonna vote for? Not that it matters.
Galerius. He saved my life. I have a feeling he can do a lot more if given the chance.
Alright.
All right, friend. Thanks for the chat.
Can't believe I can't tell him about Scintilla. That's kind of crazy. How about you,
Isn't the great
Equitia?
temple majestic? A new face. Ave, and may Vesta watch over.
Okay.
See you again soon, I hope.
Alright, I guess I have to just decide on which god I want to work with here. Yeah. Okay. Well. Not entirely sure.
Be careful who you trust.
So, question is... Oh, you know what? I'm just going to save again here. The question is... Yeah, so there's... I haven't actually figured out which god is responsible for this. Have I? I really haven't. So I can do this and then... Yeah, you know what? There you go. Oh, is it not gonna freak out now? Oh yeah. There we go. Trouble. No? Yeah. Hades. Lord of many, grant me an audience. Nargle, the fierce one, grant me an audience. Osiris, Pluto. Say nothing. Pluto? Pluto again. Oh, it's a puzzle. I gotta do it in the order. I see. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, this is the Egyptian one. Well, thankfully it didn't, like, blow up in my face. And, Nargle, I guess. Nargle's the only one that I'm, like, not familiar with at all. What? Okay. Was not expecting this.
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names. Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. You're unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so brazenly. But there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity. Ask what you will.
What's your story?
My story is many thousands of years long. You will need to be more specific. What do you wish to know?
Are you a god? Why do you look and sound like a man? Who's the woman on your left? Who is that on your right? Can I ask all these questions? Because that'd be great. Are you a god?
It is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given by you mortals, not one I gave myself. Your ancestors revered me because to them, my knowledge and technology made me incomprehensibly powerful, just as you might seem so to an insect. But despite all that, there are rules even I must obey.
Why do you look and sound like a man?
My kin and I all adopted this form long ago, so that we might better understand and communicate with your kind. In time, we grew fond of the sensory delights it affords. Desire, joy, ecstasy, even rage and sorrow, while an acquired taste can be addictive.
May I see your true form? This seems to be at least alluding to the demons in the Bible that came down to marry women, which is like basically the basis of all Greek mythology. Who's the woman on your left?
This is my beloved. Like me, she has been known by many names. Ereshkigal to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians, Persephone to the Greeks, and Proserpina to the Romans. Or perhaps you might know her as the goddess of springtime, the cycle of life and renewal.
Okay,
Your gaze lingers too long.
And she's imprisoned too. That's pretty wild. Who's that on your left?
That
Or are you right?
is my servant. You would have met by the river, though she wears many faces and goes by many names. Kumutabal to the Sumerians, Kirti to the Egyptians, Charon to the Greeks, and Charon to the Romans. Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal world and this one, and to make their transition as seamless as possible. For that, she earned herself the infamous, if erroneous, moniker, the Ferryman. You will talk more later. For now, ask your questions.
May I see your true form?
No. Long ago I swore to Proserpina that I would remain in this form for as long as we remained among your kind. I must honor that.
Okay.
As you wish.
What is this place?
It has come to be known simply as the Underworld, and it exists because of a wager I made long ago.
What's this wager?
That is a long story, one that began over 3,000 years ago and continues to this day. You see, long ago my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium to search for other forms of life among the stars. We discovered your planet and witnessed your kind evolving from primates into something lawless and barbaric. You all but destroyed yourselves, your 2 short lives being extinguished by violence and ignorance and disease. Yet Proserpina saw raw potential in you, and persuaded the rest of us it would be squandered without our intervention and stewardship. So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. We offered guidance in agriculture, toolcraft, and law, and you called us gods. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as you spread from that cradle of civilization, we saw something disturbing. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon you returned to your old ways of violence and ignorance, this time in our name. My kin had seen enough, and gave up on your kind, condemning you as barbaric and chaotic, scarcely more than animals. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, a utopia unspoilt by conflict and unimaginable in its beauty. But my Proserpina could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it would force the rest of us to leave her behind, she made an extraordinary sacrifice. She gave up her immortality to descend permanently to the ranks of humankind. And so she began her inescapable trajectory toward death. Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her in suspended animation in a deep frozen sleep to prevent age and sickness from claiming her. And then I pleaded with Proserpina's father, who the Romans called Jupiter, to bring her with us to Elysium. It was and is my hope that once there, we might one day learn to undo what she has done to herself. But he refused. I did everything I could to persuade him, but he would not relent. He would rigidly uphold his final pronouncement. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium, and no exceptions would be made. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager, the terms of which were as follows. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Proserpina and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium. My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you without interfering, and to sit in silent judgment. And so my reward has been to languish here, enduring a 3,000-year winter, waiting for the day your kind proves itself worthy of her faith in you, so that I might take her with me to Elysium and unthaw my goddess of springtime. And here I am, after all this time, still waiting.
Who are your kin?
There were also gods who, like me, have been known by many names, but perhaps you knew them by their Roman names. Our leader, Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, Venus, Apollo, Diana, Vulcan, Vesta, Ceres, and of course, my beloved Proserpina.
Who built the city?
As the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build a city in their own fashion, so that they might be comfortable and recreate their lives here. I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to baths, to cleanse them of the sins of their former lives, and to prevent escape. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as their civilization declined over the centuries, they were replaced by Egyptians. Of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization, the Egyptians promptly built over what had been built before, and made all the same mistakes. After another 1,000 years, the Greeks began to arrive, and then the Romans, and they all did the same thing. They built upon the underworlds of their predecessors, renamed their gods, and ensured their foundations were forgotten.
How did you decide who comes here?
To ensure the wager was fair, it was important that my subjects were chosen at random. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver, a rare element at the time, across all of Sumer. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by my servant and ferried to this place, with no memory of how they arrived. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coins, spreading to Egypt like seeds on the wind. Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's obol, or as coins for the pharaoh. Some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken here, though they had no way of knowing which coins were fashioned from the original tokens. In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted for, only 2 remain. And so after this wave destroys itself, as it is destined to do, your kind will have squandered the last of its potential to ascend beyond this rock, and Proserpina's along with it.
How did humans learn about the underworld?
It is a regrettable story. One of the first men who came to this place was a king of Sumer, and a troublemaker. To be rid of him, I returned him to his people, on the condition that my servant erased his memories of this place. But the erasure did not take completely, and he told stories of this place as if describing memories of a dream. His tales were committed to writing, which came to be known as the Epic of Gilgamesh, and his words were twisted and distorted over generations. Later, the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's stories of the underworld, making them wildly intricate and labyrinthine. Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less resemblance to this place in their priests' pursuit of profit. Then, when the Greeks began to arrive, they proved far more cunning, and in a series of incidents that will not be repeated, 5 of them escaped. A warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus and Theseus, a poet named Orpheus,
and a Trojan named Aeneas. They each told embellished tales of this place, how to get here, and how to escape. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, your kind has always told each other stories about this place, though each story contained only a seed of truth. Of course.
Are you responsible for the Golden Rule?
That is merely the name your people have given to it, but yes, it is my doing.
Why turn people into gold?
That is a story dating back to the very first wave. After the Sumerians finished building their city, the self-declared ruler threw a banquet to celebrate. Now this man was unmarried, and many women were vying to become his wife, a prestigious position of power and influence in a new world. Of all the women, two were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful, and both arrived at the banquet wearing eye-catching dresses and painted faces, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman, recognizing that she would require an advantage to win the ruler's affection, draped herself in jewelry, ornate necklaces, bracelets, and rings fashioned from gold. Seeing this ostentatious display, the second woman grew envious, for she had no such jewelry at her disposal. She prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold, and when her prayer went unanswered, she took matters into her own hands. While the others indulged at the banquet, the second woman summoned the first for a discussion in a quiet place. She checked that nobody was watching, and pushed her rival from the top of the ziggurat, where she broke her neck on the rocks below. But I was watching, and I decided to answer her prayer. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana, and I shot that woman in the heart, covering her from head to toe in a layer of molten gold. And I left her to stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls those who sin in my domain. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted by her sin, and the wager could no longer be won. So I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. I gilded them all, to make way for a new wave, and began the wager again. And to this day, each of them, and all who came after, line the halls of this city, inanimate but conscious, suspended in time with only their sight and hearing preserved, so they may bear witness to and lament the folly of your kind for eternity, as silent golden sentinels.
You're responsible for destroying all these lives.
I give your kind a second chance at life, as well as ample warning about my law. And when you disobey, and you always disobey, you force my hand, bringing terrible suffering upon yourselves. And so you ask if I am the one destroying your lives. And I say, no, you destroy yourselves. I am merely the means by which you do it.
Where did these golden bows come from?
When my kin departed, they left behind many relics which I inherited. A consolation prize of sorts. The golden bow originally belonged to one of my kin, who the Romans called Diana. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them, and equipped them each with a duplicate of her bow, and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. They became known simply as Furies.
What do you consider a sin?
I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong on one's own. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic can ever cover all possible scenarios. This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you." It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not?
That principle is not as easy to apply as it sounds. It doesn't seem like you've been upholding it either. That's true.
Enough. You clearly know nothing.
How do you know when people sin?
I'm able to commune with all of the statues in the city. Their ears are my ears, and their eyes are my eyes.
Is Proserpina connected to the statues in the same way?
If she was still conscious, I suppose she could, but she's not. Why do you ask?
Careful. He does not know I'm speaking to you. Oh, no reason.
Then what an odd question.
Yeah. I've seen some terrible things here that you didn't consider a sin. How could you let them happen?
Do you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations? Or are you going to give me an example?
Suicide?
I've seen no such thing, but in any case, taking one's own life is a self-directed act. It is not one that is done to others, however they may be affected by it. Therefore, it cannot be said that one who commits suicide has done anything unto others.
Seems like an extremely literal interpretation of the rule.
Applying this rule always requires us to interpret the meaning of the words. A literal interpretation helps to minimize the ambiguities of your primitive language.
Our language is full of ambiguity. Doesn't that make the rule inherently subjective and unreliable?
Supposing you're right, and my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want?
I'm right and you know it. Of course not. Never mind.
Then your desire to be right outweighs your desire to survive. You will make a fine statue.
Enough talk. I'm going to end this. Golden bow? Wooden bow? Wooden bow?
Do you really think you can wound me, a god, with that primitive weapon?
Find out, shall we? You may be immortal, but your beloved isn't.
How dare you threaten her? This ends now. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
How do I... Oh, how do I get it? Did I get it? There. Boom. Now what? Crown worn by Proserpina? Right. No. Ow. Do I have to literally run all the way back? Oh man. Through all these guys? That ain't good. You have a bow? Loading. This is why we have this fast travel thing here. Ow. Oh, I should have taken that one. That would have been quicker. rewind time and show Pluto you have Proserpina's crown. Okay. Ooh.
Salve, friend.
Golden Rule is going to be broken soon. I need to quietly get everyone except Sentius ready to run into the upper cistern when the ground starts to rumble.
What? That's a big ask. But something tells me you're not kidding. All right, I'm gonna stick my neck out and believe you. But I doubt I'll be able to gather more than a handful of people.
Well, we'll see. Can't believe this final episode is going to end up being like 2 hours long. It's an epic one though. Okay, so are we? Yeah, do this. May need to ask. Oh, need to ask help of a philosopher. Okay. Right. Let's go. Well, let's just continue going this way and I'll go over that way. That's, I have to get down to the old guy that managed to escape notice. See if he has any advice. Oh. Is this locked? Oh, come on. Damn. Okay, well, we'll just show him the crown, I guess. Too bad. I kind of wanted to ask the rest of the questions. Okay, I've already restored that. Yeah. Oh.
Salve, friend. Welcome to.
I'm fine.
Ah, we've all. I still.
Here we go.
All
Time
right.
to go now.
Well.
I can't believe this is.
Oh
going
no.
on.
Oh come on!
Oh no. No.
Damn it!
Orpheus, what are you doing? Get back from there. If you lose your back.
That's
What?
why do I'm sorry.
Please help him.
Good luck with
Your
that.
life. Are you
Sorry, I can't help you.
I see. Well, if we survive, I'll remember this.
I am out. Wherever you are, Scintilla, my love. I'm sorry.
Orpheus, no!
I don't understand why we can't tell him about Scintilla. Come on. Can I just... What happens now?
I'll have to let everyone know what happened. And I'd best pray for...
Crap. I should have had Galerius do all of that. And also... well, damn. Can I shoot him from here? Oop. Yeah, I should really have him. Damn, I'm gonna have to redo this.
Fortune smile on you, brother.
Yeah, he's already dead. Let's,
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Ow, that was right in my butt. Oh. Oh. I got here before him.
Follow me, quickly.
Sound?
Okay.
Oh, sounds serious.
Yes.
I'm listening.
Can I...
Yulia,
Rufius?
or a virgin.
Fabia.
Alright, let me see.
Yep. And Meliodas.
What?
Yep.
I'll go.
Okay. Now, question is, how do I get into... How do I get into the temple without, Decius? I can't remember.
Listen.
I can't remember the other route. Okay. Well, let's talk to this guy.
Whatever's in that grate. Hello there, friend.
Yep. Took it from the Shrine of Diana only to discover you locked me inside with angry hornets. I managed to escape, and after a harrowing ordeal in the palace, I'm traveling back in time, and here I am.
Are you well, stranger? Have you been out in the sun too long? You seem a little confused. Perhaps you should go and see Lucretia in a clinic.
Really?
Very well. Another time. Hello there, friend.
You'd never believe me if I told you.
Well, I'll take your word for it. But perhaps you'd be interested in selling it to me. I mean, it's not as if you have any use for it down here.
For the right price, I'll tell you where to get your own.
Now you're talking, I'm interested. How about 100 denarii?
How about 5,000?
Oh, that's a little excessive, don't you think? It's not the bow of Ulysses we're talking about.
Think of it as an investment. A few little coins in exchange for riches beyond imagining.
All right, all right.
I'm gonna need you to tell me before I pay up. Oh, in that case, the deal's off.
Wait. Let's not be too hasty, friend. I just want a little assurance that I can trust you, that's all.
You're just gonna have to take your chances, I'm afraid. I managed to get this bow, didn't I? Well, the golden rule won't allow me to not deliver on my promises.
I suppose you're right. All right, you drive a hard bargain, but here's your money. Now, the location of that bow.
It's in the Shrine of Diana.
What? But I already knew that, you imbecile. Everyone knows that. I can't take that golden bow because stealing from the goddess in her own shrine would break the golden rule. You promised to tell me where I could get one of my own.
You can take it, and you'll be able to keep it for the rest of your life.
What is this? Some kind of joke?
You gave me what I wanted, and I gave you what I promised.
I don't believe this is happening.
I do love a good loophole.
Don't even talk to me.
But that still doesn't get me into the temple. I really wanted to talk to that philosopher, but I don't know how else to get to him. I mean, I don't want to go through the whole... I don't want to go through the entire thing. Yeah, never mind. Okay. Fine. Fine. I don't want to
Citizen.
try and figure out a way to go all around through everything. Yeah, I just remembered, of course, that going to talk to him... Nah. I can't remember how to... If there's a way to get there without, without going through the temple, and now I don't know how to unlock the temple, so... We will just go show old what's-his-face the crown. Oh, wait. Save people. Let's save people, shall we? Or can I not do that? Now that I've asked him to go and save everybody. Yep, here we go. Oh, dude.
Good news, Ulpius. Malleolus has agreed to release you and Yulia from your debts.
What? Are you messing with me?
I wouldn't do that. You're both free.
We're free. We're free. Thank you. It seems fortune smiles on us after all. I'd better go and pay a visit to Yulia immediately.
And who else are you talking to?
Citizen.
Are you done? Have you done everything? That'd be great if you had. No, he's still busy.
Yulia! I'm so glad you didn't go through with it.
It wasn't for lack of trying.
Oh, damn, he's still busy.
Now Malleolus is going to.
Are you just stuck?
Wait. Why do you look so
We're free. Malleolus...
Ah, crap. Okay.
Citizen.
Well, I'm gonna save here again, I guess. Ugh. And then we'll just see. I'll just go to talk to dude. He doesn't actually tell me what his real name is, right? It's like, I'm known by many names. And so on and so forth. Pluto. Hades. Cyrus. And Nargle.
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered.
Yep.
No,
Yep.
the one
Yep.
and I've been
Yep.
and wanted, but there will be time for it first. As a
I don't have any questions. See this? It's Proserpina's crown.
I would recognize that anywhere. And yet my beloved still wears hers. What is this? How did you come by it?
Took it from her after I killed her in another timeline.
You vile, despicable creature. Why would you do such a thing? And worse still, boast about it.
I didn't want to kill her, but if you don't put an end to the Golden Rule, I will do it again. I could do this all day, end the Golden Rule, or I will.
You have put me in an impossible position. If I refuse, you will murder her. And yet, if I agree, I will lose my wager and return to Elysium humiliated and alone.
That's the idea. Well, what's it gonna be?
I do not see that I have a choice in this. Your treachery and savagery have opened my eyes like nothing I have witnessed in 3,000 years. And now you have shown me your species' true colors. and I see that Proserpina was a fool to have ever believed in you at all. This has gone on too long. It is time for me to let go of this form, of her, of all of you. But know this, if I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever ascend.
We just want to return to the world. Why can't we go to Elysium?
Because despicable creatures like you have no place there. My kin would never allow it. The best I can do is return you to the land of the living. I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. But as for you, be aware you will be separated from the rest.
Don't make me kill her again. Why?
Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place, and you will have created a paradox. What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time. Now, are you ready?
Let's get this over with.
You had best pray our paths never cross again, mortal.
Persuade the god of the underworld to abolish the golden rule. Okay, I did the Herculean version. Ow. Create a time paradox. Oh, he's young, of course.
Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al.
Al Worth, I came in here to find you.
Well, here I am. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I'm the outcast.
Oh, did that lady in the forest send you in here after me? I guess I lost track of time, learning about the history of this place, and it is extraordinary. I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to set foot in this city for about 2,000 years. Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into a tablet. Apparently, there was a community of 20-something people trapped in here, and living in fear of a curse they called the Golden Rule. They believed that if even one person sinned, an unknown god would cast them all into gold, like the 1,000 people who'd lived here before them. Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest at the shrine of Proserpina, an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, like saving the life of a dying woman, preventing the suicide of a man in debt bondage, freeing a falsely accused prisoner, foiling an assassination attempt, and so on. Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, this one right here, and demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to him. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. What became of him and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years?
Actually, that was me.
What? Oh, I see. For a moment there, I thought you were serious. Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that brought water into the city. Follow me.
I'm right behind you. Point of origin, return to the river. Oh.
I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple.
Good idea.
You go on ahead, and I'll be there soon.
Are we gonna run into Charon? No?
You're back. But you're alone. Does that mean you didn't find Al?
I found him. He'll be here in a moment.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you so much. I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why don't you tell me what you discovered while we wait?
I discovered you're not who you said you were. I remember meeting you 2,000 years ago.
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions.
Who are you really?
You can just call me Charon, if you like. I am sorry I was not completely honest with you when we first met. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned, from 5,000 years of experience, that most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to see the truth in their own time.
What truth is that?
That you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you here. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the land of the living to the land of the dead.
How did I die?
Usually, when people do not remember how they died, it is because they suffered a terrible trauma. Most souls would rather not remember. Ask yourself honestly, do you really want to know?
I suppose not.
A wise decision. All you need to know is that you and Al died in possession of a sacred silver coin.
Pluto said the coins Al and I had were the last in existence. What does that mean for you?
It means I am now bereft of purpose. There is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course.
What's so special about the coins, anyway?
Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans burying their dead with a coin in their mouths to pay the ferryman for passage across the river. Well, those stories contained a seed of truth, but not any coin would do. A long time ago, my master created 1,000 silver coins and had me distribute them across the world. My orders were simple. Whenever a person died in possession of a coin, I was to locate them and ferry them here.
Okay. Yeah, Pluto mentioned that my coin was the last in existence. What does that mean for you?
It means
Okay.
I am now bereft of purpose. There is nobody else.
Right. Can you return us to the land of the living?
I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was a tablet describing an oracle who confronted a god and undid an ancient curse.
Sounds like quite a story. And I look forward to hearing all about it. But you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
Yep. Alright, Karen. Ferry us home. One year later. Oh. Okay. This is kind of similar to some of the drawings or mosaics that were on the ground. Oh.
Hey, you made it. It's great to see you again. After everything you've been through, I thought you might appreciate some good news. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius's tablet. And I found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you. I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
Galerius.
Oh, hello.
You're finally here. Remember me?
Galerius? What are you doing here?
It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Karen appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
Oh, I used Karen's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course. It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
You're with Equitia now?
I know. I can't believe my luck either. But we're engaged and living together. We're planning to get married next spring. If you're going to be around, we'd love to see you there.
I would love that. Count me in. Good to see you again.
Of course. There's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you. So you better keep moving. We'll speak again soon, my friend.